Working.
Here we
Yay.
are. So, hello,
Good job,
everyone.
Sheila. Yay.
Yes. Hello, hello, hello. We are just a moment behind time, but we are so glad to be here. So glad to be with you. I want to welcome you to Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and I want to welcome you to this episode of the Conscious Awakening series or the Conscious Awakening Network with Cosmic Conversations. So if you have not already signed up to be on our mailing list, please do so. We would love to have you join us live. Our guest tonight is Wayne Wilson, and he will be introduced by my co-host who is here all month, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. So I want to tell you a little bit more about Kimberly. Kimberly's work is all about mastering life's mysteries and exposing the galactic secrets. She serves as a guide to help you achieve personal transformation. Her mission is to empower everyone to activate their innate abilities and to reconnect with their authentic selves by unveiling the intricate rules of our universe, shedding light on the concealed truths about our reality, and offering insights into other realities. She provides the tools and the knowledge necessary to liberate your potential. She will pave the way for you to manifest your magical life dreams and here and now, right in this now moment. Dr. Kimberly has an extraordinary ability to time weave your timelines into the optimal and the highest ones just by speaking to you. She radically alters your reality by the frequency she holds and her presence of being. Dr. Kimberly is an internationally known consultant and inventor of medical technologies, including technologies that are frequency based. With her own process, she is able to imbue frequencies into everything, including images. All of your pictures have been, or all of her pictures and their pictures that they're studying have been extensively tested with quantum technology, and they even use this technology themselves. I use this technology also. So, with this technology, you can scan all aspects of your life, including your beliefs and the programmings that are holding you back from creating everything that you have ever wanted. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for being here. I love the fact that you're my co host all month, and I'm going to turn it right over to you.
Thank you so much, Sheila. So, welcome everyone. I'm really excited to have Wayne here tonight. I don't know, Wayne, how long have we known each other? Wayne and I have known each other uh I'll pin myself in a minute, quite a long time, years and years and years. I consider him my brother, closer than my real brother. We've done many, many paranormal investigations, Bigfoot investigations, dogman investigations, UFO investigations over the years, and probably we'll do a few more before it's all said and done. I'm going to let Wayne tell you about the movies, but Wayne and I have actually been in two movies together. One kind of a more of a collaboration, and the first one was Wayne's movie called is it called My Journey with Monsters, Wayne? Is that what it's called? The for your movie? Where very fascinating, where Wayne is definitely the star. And Baby Boo and I just come along for the ride. But he allowed me graciously. Even my son-in-law was featured in that movie. He had a little bit part. So Wayne has the most amazing stories. And I really have to tell you guys, anything in my relationship with the cryptids, even on my property, I really owe to Wayne. I told the story before. I'll tell it one more time for your audience. So some of you have heard it, but I was actually working at Home Depot. Long story why. Years ago. I guess I've known you a long, long time because it was like 11 years ago I was working at Home Depot. Oh my gosh, I've known you longer than I thought. Time goes so fast, you guys. And I was on YouTube and I was just, killing the time. And I came across some of Wayne's Bigfoot videos. And Wayne is, as you're going to find out, is a character. He's a former wrestler and he is just very entertaining. He knows how to hold an audience. So I was attracted to his videos because he's an entertainer and he's good at it. And the other reason I was attracted to his videos is I am like, this man is crazy as a loon. He is saying he has giant Bigfoot in his backyard. And so I started watching literally, and he at the time he was putting out multiple videos almost every day. In the property that he originally started, I think, you know, a lot of his YouTube channel on. And so I had quite a plethora of videos to watch. And I probably watched about 20 or 30 of his videos. And I am like, I am losing it because after watching 20 or 30 videos, which I already have the site for human discarnates and demons, but I never really interacted with much other than fairies, I started seeing exactly what Wayne was seeing. So Wayne would describe something and I would be like, oh my gosh, Wayne and I are both crazy. So you know, we can stalk anyone these days. So I stalked Wayne on Facebook, and I didn't even know he was in North Carolina. And he happened to live, 45 minutes away from me, Wayne, at the time. And I'm like, Wayne, please, 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 pretty please let me come over to your house. And he was so gracious. He didn't know me from Adam. But Gabby, my second to youngest daughter, and I ended up going over to Wayne's house, and the rest is history. So I'm going to bring Wayne on and try to pin him, and he can tell you a little bit about himself and how he got into this and started his relationship, which is what's so beautiful about Wayne, is he truly has, you know, a relationship with all of these beings, and a million stories. And I think the world of him. And I'm so pleased to be able to introduce you to him tonight. So take it away. Your mic, Mike, can't hear you. Wayne, turn your mic, Mike, I can't hear you. It's at the bottom.
All right, how about now? All right.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. So what it basically was is in the beginning, you know, when you shut out all the negativity that you had in your life and you decide all of a sudden that you want to live peace and harmony and you don't want to be around other people, you just want to live your life, then this happens. They put a structure in the yard. And they put a structure in the yard. I come home one night. My daughter says a Bigfoot's been in the yard. I don't believe her. I thought somebody may have hoaxed me, but I was like, why would you hoax somebody who don't even think they're in it? I've always believed in it, but I never believed it was in my yard. But it was just a few days later. I told her when the snow melted, we'd see what's out there, and bam, there was a good 22-inch footprint. So once they did, what they did was they got my attention. Then they wanted to see if I would start looking for them. When they realized I would look for them, then that's when all this other stuff starts happening, and they try to create a bond with me. But originally, and I tell so many people that have problems with Bigfoot, show them you're not afraid of them. Show them that you like them and say hey to them, and don't freak out if you see one, because they may be trying to test you to see if they can trust you.
Right. Susie, are you being naughty? Susie, I think Susie wants to play early. I'm just kidding, Susie. Oh, I'm just giving her a hard time. So,
I'm sorry.
you know
I'm
what?
sorry. It did that accidentally. I was switching my name, but I'm good now.
Okay.
So
All
sorry.
right. Okay. You're good, girl. Thank you. Um, Interesting that you brought that up, because you're in my relationship, I believe, and I don't want to speak for you. I'm going to speak for me. My relationship with the Sasquatch and the Dogman is 100% positive, except for some of the juveniles who can be a little disrespectful to my property sometime, and then we have to, you know, address that. But you're reminding me, do you remember that YouTube girl that made a bunch of videos and wrote that book on those Bigfoots that like were harassing her? And do you know who I'm talking about? Like, there are some wicked, scary, like bone chilling recordings of these creatures harassing people. And I actually forget about it because that's not my experience with them. So why would you say, Wayne, that there could be a whole area? And I think that also involved dogmen and also human discarnates, or what we would call ghosts. That woman was dealing with all of that. why would she have such a negative, her and her family and her animals too, Wayne, have such a negative experience? And I don't think you and I have had that. Do you have a
Because
theory on that?
because probably she rejected them, and probably if you reject them, I mean, are they going to be nice? If you accept them for who they are, I mean, darn, they were running around my house chanting one night and kept waking me, getting my dogs up. My dogs would run in the living room. They would go the other way and chant. They would just chant. And then I went out there the night when I knew they was asleep. I said, you gonna make noise while I'm trying to sleep? I'm gonna do it while you're doing it. And I went out there and started making noise while they were asleep. And if you remember when I was doing those live videos, I would go live every night, and they were beaming some type of frequency into every one of those live videos. And then I remember one night somebody figured it out, and they figured it out. Love is light and love is love. I mean, love is light. Love is what, well, I forget it exactly, but it's basically basically the thing of the world. If we don't love each other and be kind, I mean, what else is there? And what happened was, during them live videos, I remember one night I got mad at them because they weren't coming out. They weren't letting me see them for some reason. So I tell them I'm gonna expose them. And I'm gonna have news crews come down here, and I'm not joking. They were stomping in the woods in protest, stomping in the woods, and I apologized to them, and everything was good. But it was like we fought like family. I mean, it was like I would get mad at them for some silly reason. There was that one night, there was that one day when, shoot, I saw these other things up the road, and one had an alligator on his head. Another one was this big blob. Uh, it was all these really weird looking creatures. And I used to yell at the Sasquatch when I get home. I just say, "Hey." Well, they didn't really know what that meant, but when I started filming them, they started yelling, "Hey, hey!" I mean, I got a video of it. They're yelling, "Hey, hey, hey! Don't do it! Don't do it!" Next thing I know, they got an orange orb in front of my camera trying to block me from filming them. The very next day, they're closer. They then got closer than my neighbors, but woods now. And that night I go out there, and it's a big 6 or 7 foot tall naked lady out there in my woods guarding it, just looking backwards and forwards, just doing this. She just turning backwards and forwards. And I could see her from the window, but when I would open the door, they'd be gone. And what had happened was they weren't in my woods originally. They were living across the road. They came into my woods to protect me. I seen at one point they were in every little inch of my house. They had formed a perimeter. They were scared. I guess they scared them to the fact. And then it was like I all of a sudden had my first astro projection. So they're in my woods now. So I get to meet the giant for the first time. And he comes to me and tells me and takes me on this astro vision. And he tells me who they are. I mean, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. And I don't think nobody else has ever been told this by the Sasquatch. The reason I remember it's because I can't forget it. But he told me, we walk in the same realm as ghosts. The only difference is they can't come out, but we can. And see, that this dispels the theory that they're ghosts. They're interdimensional. And we know, me and you both know when we were, you know, oh, go ahead. But
Yeah. So, I feel like people will be watching this thinking what I used to think, that you and I both are crazy still, which
yeah.
is probably
But
fair.
yeah,
But
you know what? How can somebody be crazy when they've been saying this same thing ever since it happened? I've
well,
never
and you
changed
have
my story.
videos. We have videos and we have audios and we have pictures, and you haven't seen my latest pictures, but they're coming up really, really close, like 20 feet away. And you can see their fur. Like you have some pictures of their fur too, of them in the fur too.
Well,
But
even
I'd like to go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
I said, "Even where I live at now, I have activity like crazy. I just don't, I know it's there, and because I'm so used to it now, it don't bother me.
Yeah,
Like my daughter
right.
runs in last night and she said something looked like a big man standing at the edge of the woods. They heard it scream and they come running in the house. I said, well, then another neighbor, not even 10 or 12 feet across the road, up the road, down in her woods, she's got a pond. They heard something at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming. And they said it wasn't no coyote, it wasn't no bobcat. So what else could it be? And I said, well, if it sounded like a screaming lady, I'd tell you what it was. And we've heard. I believe there's a big dog man down where I live at right now. I believe he's down there and he's down where the pond is. But see, that's the thing. I know where they're at now. I don't bother them no more. I've done got to the point where I don't have to. I just know where. I know they're there. I'll ride down this road to go back to get my wife and stuff sometimes. And I've seen at least 3 different Sasquatches standing out in the woods, just out in the open. There's a swamp down here I would love to investigate because I know they're in that swamp. I've seen them twice in that swamp, but I don't
I
really
believe
care.
it. They like, I know you're kind of beyond that. We'll get to the movies and things in a minute. Can you share the story? And you can tell me no if you don't want to, but I think that one of the most fascinating videos, and I don't know if you took it down or it's still up and people can watch it. Talk about when we think what was a government, was it a van, truck? Remember that story, Wayne, when they came to the field, the
Oh,
government?
oh,
Tell that
you want to talk?
story.
The gang
Yeah.
stalking is what I call it. Well, it starts when I film. I record this thing out at that trail I was going to that looked like something out of Egypt. And I started thinking, this is not a dog man. It don't look. It looks like a dog type man, but it's not a dog man. So I figure out it's Anubis. Now, why is Anubis at a little trail in Reedsville, North Carolina? But if you understand the people that owned that property originally, they went all over the world bringing back artifacts. They were bringing back stuff from Egypt. They had it. They were doing seances, opening up portals out in the woods. And when you understand that, and somebody like me walks onto that place, guess what's going to come out? Because they want to see me. And I ask people that still go to that trail, do you see anything? Nope. You know why I saw it? Because they knew I was coming and they would come out. And but it was like when I filmed that Anubis, one day me and Kira's going out there, my daughter's coming parked out in the parking lot, and there's a Men in Black standing there. And this Men in Black was the classic Men in Black. He was bald, he had black sunglasses, the black hat, the black everything, and he had black dress shoes. And I told Kira, I said, he's not going to walk down that trail and follow us with dress shoes. And I said, we'll give him a 20-minute head start. And if we don't see him, then we know he's not there. So we spent almost 2 hours on that trail. As we're coming back out, guess who's following us? So he'd been disappeared somewhere and was waiting on us. So he follows us, but then it gets crazy because then I get a phone call. It says, what's it going to do to shut you up? And offered me $5,000 and $500,000 and told me that I need to. I know this is the funniest part. He said, we seed the skies to keep them quiet, but you keep waking them up. And that was the problem they had with me, because I kept waking people up and making people believe. You would not believe how many people that I have made believe in this stuff just in Rockingham County. I mean, it's like so many people that would have never even thought about a Bigfoot. The people who live beside of me, I found out they had been watching my journey with monsters over 50 times. They didn't know that
Wow.
I was living right beside them. So it was like once you do that. But then we're at the trail again, a red car sitting out there. We see that same red car. When we come back out, nobody's got out of that car. As soon as we drove out, they're following us. And then later on, I'm at the car wash. I'm thinking it's either a tracking device or some type of insanity device up and under my Camaro's wheel. And you know, and then like I said, then it gets worse. I mean, the police around there were messing with me, and they were pulling me all the time for no reason. Then all of a sudden, you know, they're showing up at my house. I mean, I had not lived at this house 1 week. The police show up with their guns drawn. Said somebody called from a 910 area code that's in this house that needs help. I said, there's nobody living in this house that's got a 910. And I had to give them my phone numbers so they'll leave. But they pulled their guns on me. And I had just moved in there. And but then I'm sitting there watching TV one night, a blue light comes through the freaking darn wall. I mean, this thing came through the wall. There's no way in the freaking world it could be a cop sticking his thing through there. This was a blue beam that came through the wall. And you know what's so weird about it? I was watching Project Blue Beam when it happened. So I was watching that TV show
Oh,
while it happened. I told Kira, I said, "You need to come see this. It's a blue thing coming through the wall." And and it come to find out that the dude that lived across from me, his son was in Obama's security when he was in the military, but now he's doing dark military stuff. And it's probably the Men in Black stuff. But anyway, he moved back in with his daddy, got a job at Walmart, and well, he was there to keep an eye on me. And but then all of a sudden, when they see the movie comes out and it ain't what they thought it was going to be. I mean, well, let me put it this way: they were trying, even on Facebook, when they found out I was going to film that movie. First thing they did was said they're going to burn the woods down if I do it. And then another threat come in and said they're going to take all my dogs. You know, they kept
oh
threatening
my
me.
gosh.
Yeah, it kept threatening me, but this was some fake profile that was created on Facebook just to try to attack me and make me look bad. And but then all of a sudden, when they realized that I'm not a threat anymore, they moved to Greensboro where there's somebody investigating aliens, and they said they're going to go after him. That you're not a threat anymore. But then, I mean, I'm not joking. As soon as I got down here and moved in, I get a phone call from a lawyer in Florida. A lawyer in
Right.
Florida.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was
What you said.
a
What,
no. He said he called me up. It was a lawyer in Florida calls me up and says, "You need to seek local law enforcement. Your life is in danger." So I called the lawyer back. He says, nobody from there called that number. I said, well, I've got your caller. I got your number. I got your voicemail. I said, so who did it? He didn't know. Somebody either was working in there or broke in there that was trying to warn me. But you know, here's the thing. They can warn me. I mean, I got black helicopters that fly over this place all the time. I mean,
yeah.
we've seen so many military they just fly right over top of my house. They got a drone that sits aimed at my house every night. It sits right over up on the hill. But you can't be scared. You can't let them scare you. You can't let them be you can't let them, scare you. You just got to keep on going and educate people, And
Wouldn't you say saying that they don't want you like you open the door so I can have a relationship with these beings and teach other people about the fourth and fifth dimensions and relationship with these beings. So, and I have a pretty big reach. Don't you think they don't want it's part of waking up, it's part of awakening all of our psychic abilities and our sight and who we are, that we're not just people that, don't have any abilities that just go to work and come home and like
well,
everybody has the ability, my opinion,
it's,
Wayne. I
it's
mean, you taught a lot of people how to see. I've taught a lot of people how to see. I think everybody has an ability to have relationship with these beings in the fourth and fifth and higher dimensions. They just need a little help or guidance, you know?
Well, go back even further before I even found those Bigfoots. I had this ability,
Wait,
having this ability to, I had this ability to, see people's death before they happen. I could see a death way before it would actually happen. And I would try to warn these people. And even my own brother. I mean, I tell my own brother he was drinking and he was acting crazy, but I tell my own brother, my biggest fear in life is they're going to find you on the side of the road dead. New Year's Eve, I'm trying to find this boy. And then I go home because I figure it wouldn't be no good. I go home and guess what? They found him on the side of the road dead. But it started happening with everybody. It started happening with everybody, even my wife's parents. I predicted how they were going to die. It's like my wife tells me she's going to see her mama who's in the hospital with pneumonia. She says, well, I'll go another day. I said, no, you better go today. She might not be here tomorrow. So she goes. She's the last person seen her alive. Because I made her go, she got to see her one last time, and that's the last person that woman saw before she died, But I kept having this reoccurring dream for years when I was younger, with being at a gravesite with guns going off, and I never knew what it meant until we buried my mama, and she had a military. So I had been seeing her. I'd been seeing her dream since I was like 7 or 8 years old. It just all my whole life I saw that dream. But it's
Was
like,
your mom in the was your
huh?
mom in the military? Your mom in the military?
Yeah, she was a cook in the military.
Oh, I didn't know she was in the military at all. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
how did the first movie come about? How did that happen? Like, what made you want to do that? How did that happen?
It's fun. It's funny because I talked to this dude that was an artist, Claudio. I forget his name's Claudio something. I said, I'm gonna give you $1,500 to make a poster. And then Stacy Brown says, hey, you give me that $1,500, I'll come do your movie. So that's how it all come about. And but here's the thing about Stacy, and me and Stacy, like, I mean, we're almost like you and me, but
Yeah, I know.
but it's like he knew of me first time he meets me. I mean, something happens, and I mean, and he'll tell you that's weird. He'll tell you that. Hey, be quiet. They'll tell you that that's the most strangest thing he had saw up into that. There was this I don't know what these dogs are barking at. There's nobody in it.
Interference. They do this to me when I do shows, Wayne. It's okay. It happens to me all the time.
Well, here I had a friend down here for 3 days, and I think the dogs think maybe she's coming back. Yeah. Well, I don't think there's nobody. Let me make sure that I'll be right back.
Live video, everyone. Live video. If you guys have any questions for Wayne, if you have any questions about we've done a lot of demonic investigations, we've done ghost investigations, we've done dogman, UFO. I mean, we've pretty much done it all over the years. So if you guys have any questions or that you want to ask Wayne, go ahead and write them and or tell me, and I'll let you ask it. Either I'll read it or you can ask it live. So Stacy and you got together and did the first movie, and then tell us about the second movie that just came out. You wanted to talk about that because Sheila kind of advertised that pretty heavily.
Well, we do this first movie, and it's supposed to be longer, but he saw it as he saw how good it was. He just decided to make it into like a 30-minute movie. He was going to actually put it in the film places because he could have probably won some awards. But he had so much fun that he comes back 2 months later and wants to do it again because he knew he was onto something the first time he was here. So he wanted me and you to get back to and do a second one. And I guess we filmed part of it. We filmed part of it in 2019, and then we filmed the rest of it in 2020, I believe it was. But to go back to that first part, where he didn't even put this in he did not put this in the video, and I wish he had. I got to go back and find it. Well, yeah, he's got the footage. Me and him went back to the trail, the Chinkapin Trail, and filmed that little segment we filmed in the rain about seeing that guy in the pond. But we also went back to where there's a portal where I filmed a whole crap load of Bigfoot stuff right there. And I filmed a portal. And there's a Dogman family that lives in there too. I got that, probably got the most realistic Dogman video there is, period. There's nobody got one where you see all his little way his hair and stuff is built. Nobody's got a video of a Dogman like it except me. but they were at this, that we were using the spirit box to try to talk to people. And do you know, something came to and told him to take his box and leave. They wanted him to leave.
Wow.
They didn't want us. They didn't want me to leave. They want him to take his. It come clear as a day. It said, "Take your box and leave." And I started laughing. I said, "They don't want you here." But he didn't put it in the movie. I wish he had it,
Yeah.
because I wish he had it. But but
So we have go ahead, Wayne, and then I'll read a
all right,
comment. Go ahead.
so we're filming that. We filmed that whole first part of that movie in the rain, pretty much, other until we got to your house. Other than that, it was just rain, rain, rain. And but we're at that one graveyard. Remember that one graveyard? I'm just standing there watching. I'm listening to Bill, but something up at the corner keeps creeping me out. So I go take the spirit box up there, and it was the devil calling me by my first name. And when I said that, I believe this might be some kind of evil entity. He shut the box off. And I mean, the video is
Is
crazy. I mean, uh-huh.
that in the movie? I don't
Yeah.
remember. Is that in the movie?
Yeah, that's in the movie.
Okay.
Um,
Let me read this comment, and I'm going to ask you if you have any. Do you have any video or pictures ready to share that we can talk about tonight, Wayne?
it'd be hard. It's hard for me to pull them up because most of them are on my phone, and then I'm on my phone right now. So unless I plug up that old laptop, I might could pull up some of them. But
yeah, that's fine. We can just track them.
Well, if anybody, well, I'm just saying, if
Go ahead.
anybody wants to see them, they can go to my page and just look at I got one file in there that says Bigfoot pictures, and a lot of them are in that file. That picture of Anubis is the one.
Which page are you?
My Facebook page, C. Wayne Wilson.
Oh, okay. Add files. Well, up there. Do you have like all your old videos, like when I watched them like 11, 12 years ago? Are those still up, or did you lose your channel?
No, it's I've still got the same channel. But what's cool about that channel is I went back through that old footage one day. I was just just going through it, and found some incredible stuff. I mean, like a baby Sasquatch reaching up to its mama, playing out in the field during the day. And then
yeah, I agree.
The crazy one is, for the longest time I thought I was filming something eating, but then when I went back and looked at the original the original video, they're not eating, they're having sex. And I was filming them over there in a corner having sex and didn't even know it. And see, that's creepy.
It's so funny. We depersonalize a lot of these beings, but a lot of them are similar to us in ways, including his car. Interestingly enough, there's a whole bunch of things that we don't know or we don't think about until you really start documenting over years and months. And I mean, people are always asking me, Wayne, what I just asked you. They're like, can you send me some Bigfoot videos? I'm like, I live with them. Like, I have thousands to ones, what I mean? You have to dig through to find you have a file, but I need to get mine more organized. Somebody said, hold on a minute. Funny. Hold on a minute, Wayne. Funny, okay. Just wanted to share my son reads a book series called Dogman. It's a cute story, but lots of tech and so on. Oh, they're showing us. Do you see that, Wayne? Have you heard of that? Jason's
No,
holding
not
that
really.
up. You haven't heard of, oh, that's adorable. I can't believe I'm surprised they have a book series called Dogman. What would
Yeah,
you say to people, Wayne, that a lot of people, I always tell them to get hold of you. I'm like, or me, we can help people see what we see, I do believe. Even though sometimes I send people pictures, Wayne, and it's so obvious to me. Do you ever do this? And they're like, I don't see anything. And I'm like, no, like you can see strands of fur. And they're like, I don't see anything. That blows my mind. And David Hollis gets a lot of that
yeah.
on his page. He gets a lot of people, which he won't allow anymore, saying they can't see, and he gets good pictures too. So what would be your recommendation if somebody has never seen, to their knowledge, a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch? How would you recommend that they begin to see? Is there any tips?
Watch the videos until you see one. That's about. I know. I know
Okay.
people. I know people I know one lady was my biggest hater. She was my biggest hater. And then all of a sudden she sends me this long message, says, I used to hate on you. I used to enjoy watching people make fun of you. And then she said, then all of a sudden I'm looking and they start coming out to me. She said, I start seeing them in every video. And and I hate to tell you, a lot of people are starting to be able to see it now because they're kind of waking up. But you know what
I
caused
agree.
that? I know, but what caused that is people's love for Donald Trump. That's what caused it. It's true. There's I know so many people that started waking up to this government evil crap and once they started waking up to that, they started waking up
See,
to all the other stuff. It's
that's
like
kind
we
of,
all
you're right. The conspiracy patriot movement does piggyback, tie into the consciousness, paranormal, cryptid.
Mhm.
It all, fishtails and dovetails into each other. So I do
Well,
agree. You might have a point there. I didn't think about it that way,
it's
for
true.
sure.
It's true. I mean, it's true. It's crazy. It's crazy how the world changed. I mean, the world became the worst it's ever been, but now the world's coming back. And
That's what I'm.
it
Yeah,
looks look at all these I would say pedophiles and all these musician people now are getting busted. They're getting busted. It ain't just them, it's TV actors, it's everybody that we supposed to loved and respected. And I told somebody the other day, I said, if this keeps going like this, we won't have no more movies. Hollywood will be brought down.
oh,
Hollywood will be brought down, and then we won't have no movies. But that goes back
or
to what the
music,
Sasquatch. Uh-huh.
or music
Yeah.
either.
No, it'd be no
Rock,
music.
yeah, the crazy
I
pop
know.
type music.
I know. I go back, and I love all that old rock. But I go back and I listen when you hear that they have to make a deal with the devil. Every one of them do. Every one of them do. If they get any popularity, if they get popular, they have to sell their soul. And you go back, AC/DC, Hell's Bells, Highway to Hell. So they're homoging it. Even the band I like real good, Kiss. I mean, they've got a song called Christine 16. Why would you be writing a song about a 16-year-old? And then you
Never
go
thought
back.
about
Oh yeah, well, think about it. Back in them days, they're groupies and they don't know how old they are. Back in them days they don't. Nowadays they do, but back then they didn't. And
it. Right.
but it goes all the way back to what the Sasquatch were telling me. They were telling me that the day that the day that they come out and they want people like us to make people more less afraid of them, because when the world goes to crap, they're going to come out. They're going to come out and they're going to help us. And we got to be the ones that train people to show that they're not scared of them. And that's our goal. You want to be honest? You know who gave me the name, the Ambassadors of Sasquatch? They did. That group that
Yeah, I
I
remember.
got, yeah, that group is directly from them. I mean, it's crazy. But when it comes down to all that astral projecting stuff that they taught me how to do. I mean, they honestly, I was living in haunted houses and waking up and having ghosts in the house. And then they made me realize that that what I was doing was in my sleep, I was opening up portals. And that's how these things were getting in. I was letting them in, but then they showed me how to stop it. So they showed me how to astral project. At the same time, they showed me how to let things in. I can let ghosts in, but I can block people. Like this dude, I'll tell you a funny one. This dude that screwed me over at this wrestling show and almost had 50 wrestlers beat the crap out of me. But I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared. I didn't back down from none of them. But anyway, he comes back to me. He comes back to me and begs me to do it. I said no. And then we're riding down the road one day, and the fire truck's heading where his house is. I said it would be nice if that's his house. I said, but no, I don't wish that on nobody. But I said, but karma's going to get him. I said, karma will get him. And I mean, I'm not lying, Kimberly. A few months later, he passed away. He died in his car, of all things, from pneumonia. But then a lot of these people that wronged me in that business, one had a broke neck, one died. It's like when they come after me, it's like everything bad happened to them. And it's like, and then you kind of think, why would I have that much power with God, you know? And but then it wasn't until honestly, it wasn't. Well, I mean, we had that one thing. I've told you about this too, where I was, one of the visions I had, I was led to a cave. Hey, stop making that racket. I was made that puppy.
It's okay.
But I was taken into this cave, and I walked into this cave where there's rows and rows of Sasquatch. They're just sitting in this cave, like on benches. They take me all the way to the front of that cave. And to this day, I don't know what they told me. I don't know what they made me, but I think it was something. And because of that, I think
I have to tell you the funniest thing.
yeah.
I have to tell you the funny. Every time I talk to Brianna about you,
Uh-huh.
my oldest son, with her, she goes, Mom, it's so obvious Wayne is a Sasquatch. She says you're related to them, Wayne. I think you are too. I think you literally have, because we find a lot of lichen actually DNA altered in people when we run them on the technology. So you probably have like Dogman Sasquatch DNA. Like Brianna is, and she's really super psychic too. So I believe her. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. She always reminds me that. She's like, that's why they have this great relationship.
Well, if you talk to Bill's told me this, and somebody told me this years ago, and I couldn't believe it, so I never said anything about it, and I haven't really posted anything about it either. But Bill said, I know something about you, and I said, what? He said, you might think it's good or it might scare you. I said, what is it? He said, you got three beings that's following you everywhere. And years ago, I'm trying to sell this ghost hunter book, and they wouldn't buy it. So I go out and I'm walking out, and this doctor, I mean, I never met the dude, comes up to me and he said, you got three beings that follow you everywhere. I see them. And now we believe it's angels. I really believe it's angels. And I'll go back to another thing, but I want to tell you this first. It was like, all right, I knew I had abilities. I knew I had all these different abilities. I know I can tell you if somebody's died in a car. If I see the car wreck, I'll know but it wasn't until we got up to the cabin on 360 when me and you just hadn't seen each other in a while, and it was almost like as soon as we hugged, it was like I knew who I was and I knew who you were, and I realized I was the psychic that had the gift of knowing. And you had the gift of seeing and feeling. I had the gift of knowing. And I think it's even more than that. I mean, you go back. I mean, this is another vision I had that I've really not posted nowhere. but it was so real where I left my body. Shoot, it had to have been sometime way, way in the past. And I'm with this girl and these two kids. One of the kids died. The mom begs me to save the girl, and I don't know how. I don't think I know how. So I go back. She tells me, go to this graveyard where this angel is, and they can tell you. I get to the graveyard with
Wow.
the angel, and you know what the angel tells me? We've been watching you your whole life. We know you talk to, we know you talk to ghosts, and you don't need that box that you use because you can do that without that box. But we
No,
know
you
what
can't.
you. Well, they said it's because we try to. I try to validate it with other people, because if they can hear it themselves, it makes more sense to use the box. But even with my dogs right now, I mean, I'm seeing the dogs that's passed. I mean, especially the one that just recently passed, come through the hallway just the other day. I watched him, and I heard him when I
Oh,
was sleeping. I heard him barking. So I even,
Oh,
and here was the cool part. I wanted to see him so bad. I channeled it. I channeled it, and I went to what you call the bridge that they go to when they pass on. It's this big
the big-
open field. Yeah,
oh,
it, it's this big open. This is why I know it wasn't no. It just wasn't no. I want. It wasn't nothing I wanted. It was something I saw. Because I get there and these people are telling me, I was like, yeah, I see this big dog. It's blue and black, and it comes running by me. And I said, who is that big dog? And they say, that's Bear. Now, if you know
ooh,
anything about my dogs when I was younger, I had a dog named Bear, and he was big and blue like that. He got hit by a
aw.
car, but here I am in doggy heaven, and I see one of my dogs I had when I was a kid. And it's like I didn't see Junior or Brutus or Rocky, but I know they're there. And in fact, it was one thing came to me and told me, said they're just there waiting on you. They all are there waiting on you. So when you come, they'll be there waiting on you. So it's like our dogs don't never leave our sides. When we pass on, we get to go back and see all of them and keep all of them, everyone we've ever had. How cool is that?
Yeah,
But
it's yeah, you and I love our animals, and it's a lot of grief when they pass, as a lot of people are. So it's very comforting to people, when we hear things like that. Well, Wayne, we're almost to the top of the hour. So
you're
please
right.
tell me your book group, tell me your YouTube channel, tell me the names of your movies and how we can watch them, please.
The gift of sight, you can find it on YouTube or you can find it on Amazon Prime. It's on both. Uh,
Okay.
and it got and then the gift of sight, which is, remember, we came up with our own group called the Gifted. That's what we were. But
That's
I
so cool.
mean,
You need to do
I
it.
know, but the gift of sight's on Prime, but I'm being told that it might get on Tubi soon. It might get on Apple TV. It's up to Mr. Brown. So I mean, I gotta wait and see. But
I think, I
but
think it needs to get up. I think it needs to get up to Discovery Channel. I think we need a weekly series, so that we can, which I don't know if they'd ever let happen, because we're the real thing. We don't make up
yeah,
stuff. We get real evidence. So I don't know if
that
but that's
that's
where it
what
needs to get.
that's what makes the gift of sight so authentic. We didn't fake anything. I mean, I'm in that little girl's room. I don't know if you remember seeing it, but I'm in that little girl's room, and I got her to respond to me, and I got her to turn the lights on. And from then on, we didn't get anything. But then I go back out to where the dude is supposed to lay her body and hid it in his freezer. I went right to the exact spot. Nobody told me. I went to the exact spot and I asked her, I said, little girl, did you die here? I died here. That's what I got from my spirit box. So,
Cool.
you know,
Cool
and
evidence.
it's like, but here's the problem. There's so many freaking ghost hunting things that I believe that's
That's
why that movie. And I believe that's why that movie ain't doing what it should. The movie's good. Watch the stuff when we're down in the watch the stuff when we're down in the basement when when the devil comes out and says he's the devil, and next thing you know, my arm goes numb. Stacy keeps seeing something running around the room. Stuff starts moving. It was the crazy, and it's all in that video. And then I
Yeah,
mean, there's even look, there's even that part where we doing that seance and it made you physically sick. I mean, he
yeah,
put that in
yeah.
that movie, and I said
To put it in,
that
I
is
asked about that. Well, Brianna's like,
yeah.
why'd you let them put it? Like they weren't supposed to put it, but it's real, you know. All right, Wayne. So, what is your channel? Is it Wayne? What's the YouTube channel name? I don't know.
Wayne Wilson. It's yeah,
Is
it's got all.
it, oh, hi, Dean. Um, are you through the? You look well lately, so I assume so. Are you talking to me or to are you talking to Wayne? Do you know Dean? Or are you talking to me? Who are you talking to? Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. All right. So thank you you can hang out if you want, Wayne. Thank you so much for being with us. I'll probably have you we probably will put together some pictures and videos. I'll probably have you on my podcast, which has done really well, or my YouTube channel, which has been doing really well later on. But thank you for being go
Ain't it
ahead.
funny it's funny when I do any podcast with anybody, they can't get up, they can't stop. Everyone I've done been over 2 hours because they can't stop when they talk to me. But it's because
I,
it,
I
just
know.
yeah, just imagine if I could get on something like that Mountain Monster show and hang out with those boys. Imagine how much funnier it would be if I was doing it with them, you know.
Yeah, character, that's for sure. Well, we have a special treat tonight. We have Miss Susie who's gonna wrap up the energy with her lovely and amazing, beautiful music. So you can hang out or you are free to go, Wayne. We really appreciate
all
you
right.
being here. Make sure you check out Wayne's YouTube and My Journey with Monsters and The Gift of Sight. And if you want to learn how to see the fourth and fifth dimensional beings, start watching Wayne's stuff. I guarantee you, worked for me. It might work for you too. So, Miss Susie, take it away. I'm going to pin you up here. Thanks, Wayne. Love your brother.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
thank
Wayne.
you.
And thank you,
All
Kimberly.
righty.
This was written by J.D. Martin. We hear the music down in our soul. Yes, we hear the music down in our soul. We hear the music down in our soul. And the whole wide world is our home. We feel a new day down in our soul. Yes, we feel the new day way down in our soul. We feel the new day down in our soul. And this whole wide world is our home. And we feel the power down in our souls. Yes, we feel the power down deep in our souls. We feel the power down in our souls. And this whole wide world is our home. And this whole wide world is our home. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Wayne.
Oh, that was so lovely. I think beautiful to end it on.
Mwah.
Thank
Love,
you.
love.
And such a blessing. So thank you.
Thank
So,
you, Kim.
thank you guys for being out, and we will have another conversation next Monday night at my time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm trying to remember who our guest is. I think it might be Shelly, who's a sound healer. but I'm not positive on that. So it could be somebody else. So you'll just have to tune in and see. So thanks, you guys. I really appreciate you hanging out. And thank you, Sheila, for letting me completely fill in and take over the show. But definitely check out Wayne if you're interested in learning to see, because he's a master. And you be well too. Thanks, Susie. So until next time, take care, everybody.